BKFC 82 this Saturday night, October 4th, at the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, live on the Zone pay-per-view, The King of Violence and the Queen of Violence. Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens, and Jessica Borga versus Christine Ferreira.
What's up, guys? The notorious Conor McGregor. You know me. Here in New Jersey, very excited for our big event, one of our largest to date, and a testament to the rapid rise of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I appreciate you all on the call, and we look forward to answering your questions.
Question for Dave. Can you give us some clarification on the Frankie Edgar situation? We've heard rumors that maybe he is out this weekend. Can you give us any kind of update there?
Yeah, after further review with our chief medical officer, we decided that Frankie Edgar was not going to compete this Saturday. We're going to look into it and see what his future looks like, but he will not be competing this Saturday.
And it's Timmy Mason taking his place? Timmy
Mason will take on Jimmy Rivera, yes.
And question for Conor. Obviously, Conor, you become such a huge part of BKFC. I know there's all the talk about you eventually fighting for BKFC. Can I ask you, because we know you're going to fight Michael Chandler's the plan in the White House card, could you give me your 3-fight perfect plan to fight 2 more times in the UFC and then make that BKFC debut? Do you have a plan in mind?
You know, I have 8 months and change out to the White House event. It's a 6-month operation. You know, I consider it a 6-month operation to get ready for this bout. And that's my focus right now. I'm just eager to, climb the steps into being ready for my return. There's a lot at stake, and I'm very excited at the opportunity. I was right there with my last one. I was in incredible condition, incredibly well prepared, and just a slight lapse in concentration led to an injury. I wish to correct that and show what I'm about. And that's it. I'm eager to get back, and we'll see what the future holds after that.
You've become such a big part of BKFC. As you're getting back into fight mode, do you have to take a step back from the other businesses like BKFC, like Forged, just to get ready for a fight, or are you going to be able to kind of...
There will be a period of isolation for sure, where the phone will not be answered. And, all my people involved with me understand that it is coming. And as I said, it's a 6-month operation. I'm under no illusion of what lies ahead of me in my preparation efforts. So the phone will be switched off and the work will be executed.
Last one for you, Conor. This weekend's main event, you have a lot of relevancy because I know Mike Perry has said many times he wants to fight you. Obviously, we all know your history with Jeremy Stevens. What do you make of this main event, and how closely will you be watching it as both a promoter and as a fighter?
Yeah, for sure. I'll be in there watching as a competitor, as well as the promoter, as well as an owner. I'll be in there watching as a competitor. I'll be sizing up the 2 gentlemen. And it's a cracking contest. Michael Perry, built up his name to a very high level in bare knuckle, and now he returns. And Jeremy Stevens is absolutely fearless. A former 145-pounder. Mike Perry's a former 170-pounder. And, you don't write off a man like that with his back against the wall and no fear. So we're in for an absolutely cracking contest. And I just want to say about the Frankie Edgar situation, I'm very upset for Frankie. I'm sure he's devastated. And health is paramount here, and we will address it, and we'll reevaluate it and see where we go, and hopefully we can get Frankie in here at another date. But safety is paramount, and we take that with great care here at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and that's part and parcel of the growth of this sport. We must. It's an unforgiving business. 5 2-minute rounds, no gloves, and it is intense. So we're very excited for it.
Thank you, guys.
Chris, go ahead. Please state your name and publication just for Conor and David's reference.
Got it. Christopher DeSantiago, BuddyL.com. Thanks, guys, for taking the time today. Conor, you really want to find BKFC? I got to ask, man, when was your first bare knuckle fight? Do you remember that?
My own first bare knuckle fight? Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Man, there's teeth marks etched into my knuckles, all over my knuckles. I'm a fighting man, not just inside the octagon, but outside. I'm a fighter through and through. It is who I am. And I am very excited and eager to compete in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. 1, test myself, gain respect and honor that Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship brings these fighters. And 2, boost the stock. 3, double the checks. Double checks for the double champ. My favorite.
Awesome. Question for both of you guys. Do you have a dream BKFC signing, somebody that you really want to see on the roster?
Yeah, Conor McGregor.
I'm here. I'm here.
There you go.
Good. Fair play.
Connor, is there anybody that you want to see on the roster other than yourself?
You know, I'm loving the trajectory of the sport. I'm loving the crossovers. I'll tell you this also. I'm loving the homegrown bare knucklers. We've got some homegrown bare knucklers we've got a wealth of homegrown bare knucklers on our roster who have a big chip on their shoulder, even with guys like me talking about coming over. Guys like, professional WWE fighters, professional boxers, former world champs, UFC guys. They have a chip on their shoulder. Who do you think you are to come over to my sport that I've built and try and take what we've earned? And that is incredibly fascinating to me. So the trajectory of where we're going, we're getting world champion crossovers, and we're getting these hungry, point-to-prove bare-knuckle fighters ready to rock. So, no specific name. I've yet to hear a bad matchup, I've yet to hear a bad signing. And even just prior to this, we were doing like a quick fire questions and who would be better, this person, that person. There's a few influencers, there's a few NFL guys. Everyone, all of them, come right this way. This sport is incredible.
Awesome. And guys, is there any talks of a BKFC video game? Because with the way that BKFC is going now, I feel like a video game could be in store, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're already in talks. We're actually about to go into contract with that. Conor and I are going to look it over next week and we're going to ink that up. I think it has to happen right now. Everybody's excited about it, and it's going to be just as exciting on the video game as it is in the arena.
Gentlemen, the conversations and the plans we have are exhilarating. That is the motto of bare knuckle: shock, awe, excite. And that is what we are about.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for the time.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to go to Nolan first and then Justin following.
Hey guys, I appreciate the time. Nolan King from MMA Junkie and USA Today here. First up for Dave, I know you have the King of Violence title and the Queen of Violence title on this card. Is this something that you think we'll see routinely defended in BKFC? Like, I know the UFC has the BMF, right, and they kind of save it for special occasions. Like, do you think this will be something that reoccurs often, or do you have to save it for those kind of special fights that rise to that sort of occasion?
I mean, I think we really just have to see how it plays out. But I mean, I think why not keep it going? Everybody wants to see who's the baddest man and who's the baddest woman. And I think the King of Violence and the Queen of Violence personify exactly what that is. So we're probably going to just keep it rolling.
For sure. It's a lovely cherry on top of our world title honors. Some men, they build up their name and they may be just shy of the world title, but they're violent, nasty men and women. And it's an honor of our combatants in this sport. We will keep these titles for sure in formation.
And I know you were pretty excited about BKFC debuting in New Jersey. What other markets are you hoping to enter into soon? I know Vegas, Nevada's the big one. I guess any updates there, any optimism? I know that's been a state you've been working at for a long time to try to get in there.
I think Nevada will come in early 2026. I'm very, very sure of that. New York, the state we're in right now, the commission loves it. We just have to run up the legislative poll a little bit. And that's probably the 2 states that we're really looking to get into. All the rest of them, we really pretty much have, or they're in process. So we're very excited about the regulatory growth that we've already had. Not only domestically, but also internationally. We have yet to be turned down by a country internationally. And we're going, we have 3 more international events for the rest of this year. We're going to Rome, Italy, we're going to Dubai, and we're going to Queensland, Australia. So the
future is bright.
The international growth is robust.
Nice. And for Conor, I know you've been talking about taking that, bare knuckle fight at some point. For you, when you prepare for that fight, do you think you'll have to do anything differently than your MMA camps, or do you think you'll essentially be able to kind of carry those same sort of strategies that you had in camp in order to compete in bare knuckle?
I always prefer small glove combat. In fact, I actually hit the heavy bag, and I'm sure you may have seen, with my bare knuckles. I frequently work out without the gloves whatsoever. It suits my fist, it suits my wrists, it suits me better. My accuracy is final. And with the bigger gloves, it's not as appealing to me. I fancy bare knuckle greatly. And the preparation will be practiced with small gloves and no gloves. And there's many great practices of bare knuckle. You know, you put your hands in the petrol or the rice, which is, we talk about a game. I want to talk about, you know, a bare knuckle reality show also, where we can educate the people, the public, which is my role here. You know, to educate the public on the intricacies of this sport and the differences and the history of it, as well as the fascinating training methods, as well as our characters. It's another thing on top of our game, our bare knuckle game, that we are very closely moving towards. So, like I said, the future is very, very bright for us, and we're very excited here at Bare Knuckle HQ in DAZN.
Yeah, and I know everybody keeps talking about, oh, you have 2 fights left on your UFC deal, then you'll take the bare knuckle. Is there a world where you could take that fight sooner? Like, I know sometimes UFC contracts will have an end date. Is that something that you have, that you could take a bare knuckle fight before those 2 UFC fights?
I've not broached it. There was a few offers for some, what would you say, you know, exhibition boxing bouts that weren't turned away, that were engaged in, and they didn't come to be. So they weren't fully engaged, but the bare knuckle conversation hasn't really been broached. The entire landscape of the UFC model, the pay-per-view model is now complete. So I must enter into something new, and it's coming, is what I'm being told. So I'm excited to see how that looks, and let's see what comes.
Thanks, guys.
Justin, we have time for one question. Sorry, we apologize. We have time for one final question from you.
Thank you. This is a question to Conor. You never get asked, or at least rarely do you get asked about David. I feel like there's a lot of symmetry between the two, a lot of connective tissue, but also from the Boston Herald, if you wouldn't mind, you've had some great memories in Boston with Seaver and Holloway. If there's something you can share about both David and Boston. Thank you.
Boston man, Justin.
Yes, sir.
But I'm unbeaten in Boston. What a place. Have we been to Boston yet? We haven't.
Yeah, soon.
Boston is definitely happening. And I love Boston. Boston strong. Incredible memories in Boston. And for sure I'll return with bare knuckle. And as far as Mr. David Feldman here, a pioneer, a risk taker. Take risks, reap rewards. And David is an incredible man, and he has led this promotion to great heights. And I'm honored to be partnered with him in this. And, you know, we're on to a great one for sure. It's kinetic energy. We understand each other, and the future is very, very bright. I'm very, very proud of David, and I'm with him all the way.
Conor, David, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining, everyone. We appreciate your patience.
Look at that. Picture that in a bare knuckle. There's
Recording stopped.